All right, welcome back to MGD 111, Photoshop 1. We're going to look at the 3 pillars of Photoshop. This is stuff that's really incredibly important that as a professional designer you must know and understand. This has nothing to do with actually the design of your picture or what you're doing to the various pixels in this picture to make it look really cool or really pretty or really perfect. This is stuff that has to do with formatting your picture in such a way that it works properly. If you don't get these things right, your project will not work. Now, I'm not going to explain how to do each of these in this video. We're going to learn these over the course of the semester, but every time you hear about one of these things in a lesson, your ears need to perk up and you really need to pay attention. The first one is resolution. We need to understand what resolution means. And that has to do with the size of the image. And if we go to image size, it gives us a couple of measurements. One is just the inches wide that a picture is. That's pretty easy to wrap your brain around. But the next part is resolution, and that has to do with how many pixels per inch of data we have. The more pixels we cram into a single inch of a picture, the more detail we can have there. And that sounds like a great thing. However, sometimes we're working with images that aren't very high resolution, and we need to be aware of what we have to do to make them work. You need to understand that if you are doing something for a large print piece, a small resolution picture isn't going to work. It's going to look all pixelated when you blow it up. You can only make it so large. On the other hand, if you take a really high resolution picture and put it on the internet, it's going to take a long time to download and frustrate the viewers. So we need to know how to streamline those things. Again, we're going to cover that in subsequent lessons, but resolution, very important. I'll click cancel here. Next one is color mode, and that's also under image mode. There's several different options up here, and again we'll explain what these all mean, but basically you need to know if your image is made out of a black background with red, green, and blue dots. That would be RGB color. That's how things on screen are created. If you put your face up to a TV screen, you'll see the red, green, and blue dots. Or we need to know if we're printing it, our color needs to be based on a white piece of paper plus cyan, magenta, yellow, and black ink dots. On screen, these pictures are going to look exactly the same, but again, if we don't format these correctly for whatever purpose we're using, it's not going to work. So just be aware of those things. The third thing that we need to be aware of is file type. When we go to save an image or do a save as, it's going to ask us, it's going to give us this little extension here. JPG stands for JPEG. It's going to give us the opportunity to change that to a different format. Again, which format you use for which purpose is incredibly important. And again, we will explain this throughout the semester, but I just want you to be aware of this. JPEG is useful for most on-screen purposes. A TIFF file here is used mostly for printed pieces. PNG is a format that we use for web purposes, etc. I'll explain the important ones as we go along. But again, you need to know and understand what these mean. If you try to use, let's say we have an image that we formatted for type, we have the resolution, the color mode, and the file type, and we've put it on our printed piece. If we try to put that exact same image onto a web page, it simply won't work. It needs to be reformatted. It needs to be a different resolution, a different color mode, and a different file type. As we go through the semester, we will learn these things. If you can get those things right, then it's all about making pretty pictures. So understand those things, learn them, get them into your head, and you will be successful.